Hello, and welcome to Pet Parenting 101, your guide to living your best life with your new dog. We have a lot of exciting and interesting topics to talk about, so get comfortable and feel free to take notes. We will be covering topics in this course that will help you to live your best life with your new best friend. These topics range from safety, health and wellness, to dog body language and learning how not to overwhelm your new dog, which, let's face it, can happen pretty quickly. This course has been recorded so that you can come back at any time to review the information, even after you bring home your new dog. First things first, we want to say a big thank you to you and your family for A, adopting a dog from a shelter, and B, taking the time to learn the skills that are essential to living a fulfilling life with that dog. Keeping your dog and your family healthy, happy, and safe are all goals of this class. Putting this course together came from the input and recommendations of experts in the fields of animal welfare and training, and utilizes the most up-to-date research on these topics. As you can see, there is an emphasis on reward-based training or positive reinforcement. Because of this, you won't see or hear any mentions of pack leadership, alpha or beta dog, corrections, or specialty collars, as these methods and mentalities have been proven to do more harm than good when it comes to training your dog. Teaching and learning through positive reinforcement is considered to be a highly effective and ethical way to handle your dog. So let's prioritize you and your dog's relationship and start off on a good foot. Of course, I couldn't teach this class alone, so I want to finally introduce myself and some folks who are going to be helping me with this class. My name is Sam Wolfman, and I'm the owner of Wolfman Dog Training, a local dog training service in Alexandria, Virginia. I'm a multi-certified dog trainer and have been working with shelter and rescue dogs for over 6 years now, which includes helping dogs transition into their new homes. I'm joined by my colleagues Joe Ryan from Force Free DC and Tara Murtagh from Dog Latin Dog Training. They will be introducing themselves later on. Both of my fellow educators are also certified by different organizations that promote and uphold science-backed and positive reinforcement-based dog training. When looking for a dog trainer for your new dog, do your research. It is really important to seek out and hire a trainer that is certified with letters behind their name. This means that these trainers have gone through rigorous training and study to train dogs humanely and ethically according to the AVSAB position statement on the previous slide, and not just through experience. Now that you've been introduced to us, let's dive in. My colleague Tara is going to kick things off with preparing to bring your new dog home.
Thanks, Sam. Hi, everyone. My name is Tara Murtagh, and I'm a multi-certified trainer and behavior consultant with Dog Latin Dog Training, servicing the DMV area. I've had the opportunity to work with rescues in shelters for the past 10 years, and I've helped a lot of rescue dogs transition to their new homes. So let's dive right in and talk about what you need to know before you bring a new dog home. First, let's make sure all family members are on the same page with expected responsibilities. This includes acquiring supplies, feeding, walking, training, playtime, and bed or nap time. Second, let's set up a crate or safe space for your future dog to go to that will be their own, where they can be unbothered by children, other family pets, or guests. Remove any items from the space that could be chewed up or swallowed by your new dog. Third, plan your schedule to include spending time on a walk and training before and after work hours, and incorporate the whole family into the routine with your new pet. Plan to meet your current pets and/or your kids' needs separately from the new dog, since they'll be separated for a few days until you can do slow intros one at a time. Fourth, let's learn about animal body language to help set your pet up for success. And finally, research various dogs and discuss what might be a good fit for you and your family. You can keep this safe space set up for as long as you have a dog. It includes a space for your dog to go to when you have guests over, gives them a peaceful place to nap, and provides them with the security that their food and toys won't be taken from them. A snuffle mat and/or puzzle toys give options for dogs to work their brains and use their natural skills to feel fulfilled. A sheet or lightweight cover over the crate helps create a cozy space and blocks light so they can nap. An inexpensive white noise machine can help block out background noise and help sound-sensitive dogs settle more comfortably. Understanding dog body language is one of the most important ways we can help keep both dogs and kids safe and make interactions more enjoyable for everybody involved. One easy and fun way to help children build this skill is by practicing observation together. You can make it a game. Watch your own dog or dogs in the neighborhood and ask your child, what do you think he's feeling right now? Encourage them to notice things like tail position, ears, body posture, and even facial expressions. This helps kids begin to see the subtle ways dogs communicate. For younger children, show them how to toss treats away from the dog, rather than hand feeding them directly. This allows the dog to choose whether or not they want to engage, which is a great way to begin teaching about consent and respectful interactions. You can also talk about how we never want to lean over or reach over a dog's head. Those movements can be very scary or threatening to a dog, especially one they don't know well. For more tools, check out Family Paws for additional resources. On the next slide is a helpful video from Fear Free Happy Homes that discusses dog body language in greater detail.
Hey there! We dogs communicate a lot of information with our body movements and facial expressions. Sure, we might bark, yip, howl, or growl, but our main way of talking to you through non-verbal signaling. That's why I want you to be one of those people who can communicate with animals by reading our body language. When we are just chillin', we put on our neutral and relaxed pose. Our ears are in their natural position. Mine are floppy, and hers stick up, but aren't perked forward when she's chillaxing. Our eyes are soft, and we aren't looking nervously in another direction, making the whites of our eyes show. We carry our tails in their natural state. Sure, dogs have a wide variety of tail types, but you'll learn what our tails communicate by watching them. When we catch some Z's, some dogs prefer to curl up, or stretch out, or even sleep in weird positions. Just like you, we don't like to be startled when we're sleeping. When we are happy to see you, we make our bodies wiggly and loose and wag our tails in a wide sweep back and forth at medium height. Some of us do a whole butt wiggle. When something gets our attention, we perk our ears forward and our pupils might dilate. Maybe you're holding a tennis ball or a treat for us. Our mouth might be a little open, but our mouth and tongue are relaxed, not tense. We might progress from slightly interested to alert and intense, and our ears and tails go up even further, and we might close our mouth, hold our breath. She gets excited too, but often feels a little bit worried. Notice how the hair on the back of the neck and tail start to get poofy. Have you ever had the hair on the back of your neck stand up? This can happen when something startles us or has us really excited or amped up and alert. Just like how we act when we're excited or interested, there are varying levels to how we act when we feel upset or anxious. An easy way to think of them is the 4 F's: fret or fidget, freeze, flight, fight. Think of these stages as survival-based reactions. It's no fun to be scared, especially when the people around us don't realize we're not okay and feeling nervous about something. So, if you see these signs, take a look around and see if you can figure out what is concerning us. At the fret or fidget stage, we might avoid eye contact and turn away, but not necessarily move away. We might lick our lips, or we might pant even when we're not hot. We might move slower than normal, like we are tiptoeing around, or we could be overly active. Our ears might start to go to the side or move back a little, and we might lift one of our front paws up. If our fear continues to escalate, our tail and ears go down. Our bodies become hunched, and our brow wrinkles. Our mouth might pull back into a tight smile as we pant, or our lips might begin to close and press together. We might snatch treats from your hand really hard. This is because we're nervous. We don't mean to do it. We might even be so scared that we refuse treats or become so frightened that we freeze. Think of a deer in the headlights situation. Ears, tail, and head are down. This might make the whites of our eyes show more. We breathe rapidly, but we'll probably have a closed mouth. Some of us will even tremble in fear. Flight takes place when we try to escape a situation. We might try to scramble away quickly or slink away slowly with our tails tucked, ears back, and body hunched. If we are panting, our mouth is tight and our tongue will be tucked up tight in our mouth instead of hanging out like when we are hot. If our previous attempts at communication have not been received, we might have to speak even louder. This is when people often label us as a bad dog, but we're just trying to tell you we are afraid. At the fight stage, we might display defensive aggression. Our ears, tail, and body are lowered, and we pull our gums all the way back and show our teeth. We may warn audibly with vocal communication, such as a growl or deep bark. Sometimes dogs go unheard for so long that they learn offensive aggression. We lean forward, our ears and tail are up, and our body will look really stiff and rigid. Our eyes may look dark and have a set gaze. When we show our teeth, we pucker our lips so you can only see the front teeth. We might even lunge and bark. Please hear us before we get to this point. Don't ignore what we are trying to say. Now you know what we look like when we are relaxed, happy, alert, and excited, as well as how we might communicate fear through fret or fidget, freeze, flight, or fight. When you know what to look for, you'll realize just how much we say to people on a daily basis. Please listen to what we are saying and give us help when we need it.
Let's talk about what week 1 should look like with your new dog. Safety first. Put a collar with ID and emergency phone number on your new dog and don't remove it. Keep your new dog leashed at all times when you are not in a secure, fenced-in area. You can visit petunityproject.org and fill out the form on the homepage, and we'll send you a free pet ID tag. In the meantime, you can make an ID tag with duct tape and a Sharpie if needed. Second, be a fair guardian. Don't punish bad behavior, as your new dog doesn't yet understand the rules, and punishing their confusion can just lead to a lack of trust in their new relationship. Instead, reward them for the behaviors you like to see, and those behaviors will likely be repeated. Third, establish a routine with the adults in the home. Your new dog should be taken care of by the adults in the home and should not yet meet the children, guests, or other pets. Young children should not walk the dog on their own. Always have an adult hold a leash at all times on walks. Establish a routine of feeding, nap time, and playtime at the same times each day. Fourth, walks and learning about their new home and neighborhood. Keep walks short the first week and have them focused on learning the new smells and sounds of their neighborhood. Reward them with treats for calmly observing their surroundings, and if they get overwhelmed by a new sound, sight, movement, give them some distance from that thing that's overwhelming until they can relax and observe. Fifth, consent is key. Pet Pause and other consent games can be extremely helpful when interacting with your new dog. We will review a good method for determining consent on the next slide.
Few things are as enjoyable for us as cuddling up with our dogs. And luckily, many dogs love cuddling too. But just like people, dogs aren't always in the mood to be touched. Some dogs are even uncomfortable or afraid of being touched by people. Asking a dog if and when he'd like to be petted can reduce the risk of putting the dog into a situation in which he feels the need to growl or even bite. How do we know a dog wants to be petted? This is where a petting consent test comes in. Petting consent tests allow us to ask the dog, "What do you want?" The first step in a petting consent test is to watch whether the dog chooses to approach you. Never approach an unfamiliar dog and try to pet him. If a dog hasn't come to you on his own, he's already said, "No thank you." Here's an example of a dog approaching enthusiastically and enjoying being touched. If a dog keeps some distance between you, as in this video, it's a clear signal that he's not ready for you to touch him. If your goal is to ask a dog whether he'd like to be petted, do not use treats to lure him closer. This puppy is staying nearby because the seated person has treats, but you can see that he's not comfortable being touched. The dog has approached you. Now what? The dog's body language will tell you whether and how to proceed. If the dog shows fearful body language or behaves aggressively, don't try to pet him. If the dog has a loose, wiggly body and a relaxed, happy face, as in the next videos, you can try a petting consent test. This dog isn't as enthusiastic in his approach, but isn't showing signs of fear. Sometimes a dog will approach cautiously because he's interested in you or your treats, but he's not completely comfortable. The next videos show fearful or uncomfortable body language, including stiff bodies, ears that are pinned back, tightly closed mouths, tense faces, and lower tucked tails. If you see this kind of body language, any aggressive behavior, or if you're just not sure what the dog is saying, do not reach toward the dog. This puppy's body is tense and his tail is down, while he stretches to get a treat while trying not to move his body closer to the person offering it. This dog's tail is low, her body is slightly stiff, and her ears are back. And this dog's tail is tucked between her legs. The dog wearing the orange leash has his ears pinned back, his mouth is tightly closed, and his brow is furrowed. It's best not to reach towards dogs showing this kind of body language. If the dog has approached you on his own and doesn't appear fearful, aggressive, or conflicted, you can try a petting consent test. Pet the dog briefly, ideally only once or twice, then remove your hand and see what he tells you. Here are a few examples of brief consent tests. Many dogs don't like hands coming over their heads, so petting the chest is a good first choice, but other areas may be fine too, depending on the dog. For those dogs who choose to approach you, but look worried or conflicted, you can make a hand available to them without reaching toward them. Some fearful dogs find touch very comforting, but it's best to let them initiate contact. In these videos, dogs are choosing to move into the offered hand. Notice that the offered hand stays still, rather than moving toward the dog. If the dog does move into your hand, you can then try a petting consent test. After you've petted the dog briefly and withdrawn your hands, watch for the dog's answer. Does he want petting right now? An answer of no comes in many forms, including no behavior change, nervous body language like lip licking, turning away, or looking at your hand, or moving away from you. Here are several examples of dogs saying no to petting consent tests. These dogs don't show any change in behavior, so assume they are not interested in being petted. This puppy stands very still with a lowered tail, pinned ears, then moves away. This is a no. This dog shifts her weight back away from the petting hand. She doesn't want to be touched. Both of these dogs say no to petting by moving away. Here, the puppy stops what he's doing to turn and look at the hand that touched him. He is not comfortable being touched right now. To interpret the answer to a petting consent test as a yes, the dog's behavior should be unambiguous. The dog should be actively soliciting touch. Here are some nice examples of dogs saying yes to petting. This dog moves closer to the person every time petting stops. This is a yes. This shy dog nudges her nose under the person's hand every time petting stops. This dog asks for more petting by pushing her nose under the person's hand. This dog wiggles up next to the person to ask for more attention. And when petting stops, this dog cranes her neck to get closer to the nearest available hand. This dog pushes back into her person for more attention when petting stops. Even if a dog says yes to petting initially, make sure to frequently stop petting and check that the dog's answer is still yes. Here are 2 examples of a yes and then a no from the same dog. This dog initially says yes to petting by pushing her head into the person's hand, but a few seconds later, she looks away, licks her lips nervously, and puts her ears back in response to petting. This is a clear no. This dog also says yes to petting by nudging a hand. But later, she shows no behavior change in response to petting. She's not interested in petting right now. Now you know how to ask a dog if they want to be petted. If the dog approaches you, watch body language to decide whether to try touching the dog. If you do pet the dog, stop after 1 to 2 pets and watch for the dog's answer. Try petting consent tests with your own dog. If your dog says no to petting, try not to take it personally. No one likes being touched all the time. Instead, you can offer a different kind of interaction that doesn't involve touch, like playing with a favorite toy or going for a walk. You can try a petting consent test again later. Taking the time to learn petting consent tests will pay off in the long run. Being able to recognize a dog's answer and respecting his preference will help the dog feel more comfortable and keep you safer.
Now that they've had some time to settle and get to know you and your routine, let's see what the next steps are in week 2. Here are things you can start to do in your new dog's second week home. Slow introductions to different members of the household like children and roommates. Now, your new dog may have already seen these people in the background of their day-to-day, but now is the time to introduce them. Focus on one introduction at a time so you don't totally overwhelm your dog. The way to really do this is to have treats on you during this time. Have your family members, kids, or roommates toss the dog treats from the couch or from a standing position. Instruct them to keep their hands to themselves unless the dog asks for pets, like in the consent to pet video that you saw. Keep petting and interactions really short. For young kids, 10 years and under, the dog would be best introduced through a baby gate so everyone stays happy and safe. Remember, dogs have the ability to knock young kids over, and some kids don't have a full understanding of personal space, so a physical barrier would definitely help. Your new dog might do really well and like everyone right away, but we also want to be prepared for them to get overwhelmed or nervous, and these tips should be the perfect starting point for either scenario. Now, things you should not be doing this week, or really at any time, approaching a sleeping dog. This could startle them and cause a negative reaction while also breaking trust with you. Approaching when they're in their safe space or their crate, this is especially important for kids. Do not let your kids crawl in there with the dog. This is their space and their space alone. Approach a dog while it's eating or chewing a toy or a bone. There's a lot of bad information out there where it says your dog needs to know you're in charge, so take what they have or stick your hand in their bowl while they're eating. The only thing this does is damage the relationship with your dog. So please don't do any of these things, even further down the line with your dog, not just during their transition period. Let's take a look at this video about keeping your kids safe around your new dog. This is a great video from Be Bite Smart that is kid-friendly, so go ahead and hit pause, grab your kiddos, and let's watch it together. Once you're ready, hit play.
People communicate in many ways. We speak different languages and use our faces and bodies to express our needs and feelings. Animals have their own way of communicating. Like dogs, for example. You probably have whole conversations with your dog. It's okay, we do it too. The stuff you sing to the squirrels can't be repeated. In reality, dogs communicate with us all the time. It's our responsibility to pay attention and understand what those signs mean. Charlie was communicating to his humans, Alex and his mom, that he needed space. Let's take a look. Quick, high tail wagging to the left, yawn, lip lick, growling, bare teeth and barking. Signal that he's agitated and anxious. Charlie pulled away from Alex because he felt threatened. He looked at Mom with distressed, worried eyes, asking for help. Incredibly, Charlie resisted the fight or flight instinct to defend himself with a bite. Charlie tried everything he could to communicate that he needed space. Dogs will progressively escalate their defensive signals if they aren't being understood. Truly loving our dogs and making them part of our family pack means listening to them and respecting their needs. So, we asked a dog expert, Charlie, for some helpful tips. Luckily, dogs also communicate through writing songs.
We gotta listen to our dogs, 'cause they got a lot to say. Their tails, ears, mouths, and eyes tell us to come or stay. Every doggy has a bubble that helps create some space. The size and shape and color helps you find the safest place. A dog that's scared and nervous has a bubble big and red. A tucked in tail and flattened ears, go someplace else instead. A dog that's calm and happy has a bubble that is green. Earn their trust and confidence by giving room in between. Now that you speak doggy, tell everyone you see how watching signs and bubbles makes a happy family. Respect the bubble, stay out of trouble. Respect the bubble, stay out of trouble. Respect the bubble, stay out of trouble. Tell everyone you see. Respect the bubble, stay out of trouble.
All right. You can learn more at familypaws.com. But there are so many great lessons in that video, even for adults. Definitely don't allow people to rush in, kissing and hugging your new dog. As we saw, that can be really uncomfortable for dogs, as it would be for other strange humans to run up to you while kissing and hugging you. So keep that in mind. Now that we've been able to introduce your human household members to your new dog, let's look at dog members of the household. Hopefully you've been able to keep the dog separated for the first week. Now that your new dog has settled in a bit, let's introduce them to your current dog. So, always start slow. Have a helper, which can be a friend or family member, walk your current dog down the street from your home in a more neutral territory. You will handle your new dog and have them observe your current dog from a distance. While they're looking at the dog, give the dog you're handling treats for remaining calm. Have your helper do the same with the dog that they have. This is a video of this process. As the dog is watching my colleague walk back and forth, pretend she's a dog, I'm marking the dog for looking at her with a yes and giving him a treat. Notice how he's able to disengage from looking at her and he's able to eat the treat. That's what we want to see. Okay? If the dogs are too overstimulated or excited, like if they're pulling toward the other dog or barking, increase your distance from the other dog. When introductions start like this, they usually don't go super well. So give them some treats to redirect their attention to you and see if you can start again. How can you tell if they are calm? Well, watch their body language, right? We want them to be loose, able to walk and look away from the other dog, and you want to make sure they're not pulling full speed toward the other dog. They don't have to meet nose to nose during this initial meeting, especially if there's too much overexcitement. Instead, do a few of these over consecutive days. Walk them parallel to each other, even if you're across the street from each other, and then slowly decrease your distance. If you progress too quickly and there's a scuffle, take a few days of full separation to the point where they don't see each other at all. And again, start from the beginning. You can find more information about this at this link here, and that will be in our resources. Once you're able to get close enough to walk side by side outside, you're ready to transition the dogs into being in the same space inside. You will need to use baby gates to separate the dogs. This is especially true if the dogs are not being actively supervised by an adult in the home. Active supervision requires active watching, so that means gates go up when you're watching your favorite show or scrolling social media or working from home. Keep them separated when it's feeding time, and when they have high-value items like toys and shoes until they get to know each other better. Remember that this may take quite a bit of time. If you need to get gates that go with your home decor, Home Goods has really nice ones, or you can get them off Amazon. This video shows two dogs who have lived with each other for over a year but still need to be separated by a storable gate when they have something like a frozen Kong for enrichment. You can see them both working on their items. During downtime, reward the dogs for being calm around each other. This will promote really nice coexistence in the future, which is really what you want from your dogs living together. If it's a 24/7 party, then that's exhausting for the dogs and for the humans, and that's not a good thing. Remember to enforce breaks if play goes on for too long or if play is one-sided, coming from just one of the dogs, because this could cause a fight between them. Now, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Joe, who's going to walk you through introducing your dog to guests, enrichment, and what the next steps are long-term for you and your new dog.
Thank you, Sam. Hi everyone, I'm Joe, owner and certified behavior consultant with Force Free DC, a local dog training company that provides services to the PG County area. Keeping everyone safe in the home is a top priority when bringing home a new pup. We just learned from Sam about introducing your pups to your resident dogs, but what about their new human family members and human friends? The most important thing to keep in mind when introducing your dog to anything is their stress and arousal levels. Think about the earlier slides with Ollie discussing body language. What is your dog trying to tell you? Are they uncomfortable? Are they excited? Are they both? If they're showing signs of high stress, we want to avoid introductions and greetings, but if they're showing signs of being excited and comfortable, well then let's go for it. When introducing a dog to a new person, the first thing I do is I give the guest a baggie full of high-value treats, like chicken or cheese. I then ask them to sit calmly as I go and leash the dog up. Once the dog is on their leash, I come into the room with the dog or I meet that person outside. I always give the dog the freedom to approach the person on their terms. We never want to force an interaction, especially if the dog does not want to approach. I keep my tone of voice calm and relaxed, talking to the dog, encouraging them to make good choices, such as saying, "Let's go say hi," or "Yeah, that's a friend," when they look at our guest. The guest can gently toss the treats to the dog when they look at them. Make sure your guest isn't chucking the treats, but instead doing a gentle underhand toss instead. When introducing a guest, we want to make sure we're not overwhelming the dog. Tell your guest how your dog likes to be greeted. Get as much info about the dog's limits and comforts from the rescue beforehand. Avoid leaning or reaching over their head, petting on top of the head, grabbing limbs, hugs, talking loudly, or crowding the dog, all of which your dog can find very stressful. We always want to be sure the dog has a choice to leave if they want to. We want to avoid a new person putting their face anywhere near the dog's face. In fact, a rule of thumb I always teach my clients is no hand feeding a dog during the first interaction, tossing treats only. If the introduction isn't going as planned, take a break and try again later. Maybe try with zero eye contact, having the guest toss treats from a farther distance, or going on a walk with 10 to 15 feet between the dog and them. Remember, the dog isn't misbehaving or acting that way to give you a hard time. They're acting that way because they're having a hard time. If you're ever uncomfortable with an introduction, don't do it. Call a certified dog trainer or a resource from the rescue to help. In this video, I'm tossing treats to Drake, a dog I just met from behind a baby gate. Baby gates are a great way to manage introductions. This allows me to keep my distance, allowing Drake to feel safe, but close enough to engage and interact with me. So you'll see I'm tossing treats away to encourage him to run away if he would like to. Looking at his body language, he seems pretty chill. His tail's wagging, which doesn't always mean happy, but the rest of his body just being so wiggly is telling me that he's very friendly. So you'll see here, I toss a treat over there to try to encourage him to make that space on his own. And he's like, okay, well, maybe two will do it. There's a few boring but important things we want to take care of in that first month. First, we highly recommend researching pet insurance and discussing with your family whether setting up a savings account for your new pet's needs is appropriate, whether in conjunction with pet insurance or as a standalone option to pay out of pocket for future medical costs. Dogs are expensive, and from my experience, they always seem to get sick as soon as you have a little extra spending money. Next, schedule a wellness visit at your local vet or local wellness clinic to ensure that your new pet has the necessary vaccinations, age-appropriate care, and that you have them on a good diet and exercise plan for a lifetime of health. If you don't have one in mind, ask a friend, the rescue, or a pet professional for a recommendation in your area. It's always a good idea to research local dog walkers and trainers who could take your dog out in case you get stuck at work. Interview local pet sitters or dog boarding facilities to plan for coverage for future travel. If you plan to have a family member, friend, or neighbor walk your dog while you're away, make sure that they join you for a walk or two so that they know the routine, are familiar with where the supplies are held, and have a list of emergency contact numbers. It's always best to have these relationships and resources in place before you need them. Very few sitters and walkers will do services without meeting you first. Be sure to check out petunityproject.org for a list of pet professionals in your community. As a professional trainer, my ethical soapbox is your dog didn't choose you, you chose your dog, and it's up to you to provide them with the best possible second chance at life. We do that through enrichment. Enrichment means meeting all of an animal's mental, physical, and emotional needs in order to empower them to perform species-typical behaviors in healthy, safe, and appropriate ways. This infographic from my friends at Pet Harmony breaks enrichment into 14 categories. It's important we're meeting all of these needs to ensure our dog is mentally, emotionally, and physically healthy. The first category is health and vet care. It's easy to forget that our dogs are not 100% all the time. They suffer from minor ailments like sore muscles, stomach aches, and headaches, similar to us. If they're not feeling well, chances are that they're not going to act well. So we want to make sure we have routine vet visits scheduled to ensure that they are healthy. Next is our dog's hygiene needs. We want to make sure that they get regular baths, nails are cut, ears are clean, and teeth are brushed to avoid future potential diseases and ailments. Brushing longer haired dogs is important as well to prevent mats and dreadlocks from forming. Nutrition is incredibly important. We want to make sure the food we give our dogs fits their lifestyle, breed, and personal preference. A healthy gut is a healthy mind. Be sure to ask your vet for recommendations. Up next is the physical exercise category. We want to make sure our dogs get the appropriate amount of exercise. This can include going on walks, running around a fenced-in yard, playing fetch, or other activities that gets the dogs moving. Be sure not to overdo it when it gets too hot out. The sensory stimulation category refers to sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. We want to balance these to prevent our dog from getting overstimulated. If we notice that they're getting overwhelmed, take a break and bring them into a safe space to help them relax. Next are the safety and security categories. Safety means the dog feels safe in the moment. This means they know they're going to get out of that situation alive. Security is safety overall, them knowing that they have a bed to go home to, food in their bowl each day. Security and trust will come in time, but we want to make sure our dogs feel safe at all times. Species-typical behaviors are the behaviors that make a dog a dog. Dogs dig, chew, bark, and they destroy things. While these behaviors are normally unwelcome in the human world, it's important that your dog has an outlet to do these things, such as chewing on a bone or digging through some cardboard boxes. If we don't fulfill these needs, these behaviors can come out in a more unwanted way, such as chewing on your new pair of shoes or digging a hole in your garden. Foraging means searching for food. We feed dogs from bowls at scheduled times, so they don't need to search for their food, but that doesn't mean they haven't lost that instinct. We can do activities to fulfill this need, such as feeding them through a snuffle mat or hiding food throughout the house like a treasure hunt. Another game is to take an old towel, put some kibble in it, twist it up, and then give it to the dog. These are mentally stimulating activities as well. Up next is the social interaction category. Dogs are social animals, but that doesn't mean they're pack animals. A lot of dogs care about humans a lot more than other dogs, and some dogs, they care more about dogs than people. Some people only think about the dog-dog interaction with this category, like playgroups or doggy daycare. However, this also includes their relationship with other species. Category 11 is mental stimulation. Dogs are incredibly smart and a lot more intelligent than people give them credit for. It's important to challenge them with problem-solving activities like puzzles or training to keep them mentally engaged. Imagine how bored you would be if you never exercised your mind. Helping your dog be calm and settled is incredibly important. As a trainer in the city, I'm used to seeing overstimulated dogs who feel they don't have a safe place to rest. Helping your dog settle is just as important as physical and mental exercise. If your dog is resting, please let them rest. Up next is independence, which refers to being able to feel comfortable on your own and being able to make decisions on your own. Obviously, our dogs can never be 100% independent because our human world is not designed for them. They don't have thumbs or money. Being comfortable with exploring the environment or being comfortable with being left alone and gaining life skills are ways that we can foster independence. Last is the environment. This is a big category which involves a bunch of things like your neighborhood, the weather, and so much more. We want to make sure our dogs are able to thrive in the environment we put them in. Meeting their enrichment needs can prevent behavior issues like reactivity, separation distress, or aggressive behaviors. It's up to you to give your dog a full and enriched life. As I mentioned before, our dogs did not choose us. We chose our dogs. It is our responsibility to keep them safe, happy, and healthy for the rest of their life. But life isn't perfect, and accidents can and will happen. To minimize the risk of your dog escaping or getting lost, be sure to keep a collar and ID tag on your dog at all times, and keep them on leash when not in a secured area. To minimize the risk of health issues, visit the vet annually to update vaccines and do wellness exams. Be sure to give your dog monthly flea, tick, and heartworm preventative to prevent serious and fatal diseases. Please talk to your rescue if you feel you cannot provide the best life for your dog. It's nothing to be ashamed of, and we're here to help you. Finally, please check out some resources to continue your education, learn about behavior and training, and learn more about your dog in general. Up first is the Pet Unity Project. This is a local organization which was the driving force behind this class. Please reach out to them with any questions about your dog, and they can help you find local vets, trainers, all of that good stuff. Up next is Your Dog's Friend. This is an organization in Montgomery County which puts on free webinars about dog training. I highly recommend checking out their YouTube channel where they post all of their free webinars and they cover topics from basic training to more complex behavior challenges like separation anxiety or dogs that show reactive behaviors. Up next is Family Paws. So this is an organization dedicated to safely introducing kids, toddlers, babies to new dogs. They have a lot of kid-friendly resources on their website, so I highly recommend checking them out if this is one of the hurdles that your family is going to be facing. Up next is the PGSPCA. Reach out to them for low-cost vaccinations, which you need to do, and other low-cost health vet care needs. Next, if you want to connect with the trainers that put this class together, please reach out to us. Tara works with Dog Latin Dog Training. Myself, I work with Force Free DC, and Sam works with Wolfman Dog Training. Please feel free to reach out to us with any questions, but also you can sign up for private training. I think some of us offer group classes, some of us offer walks. So please don't hesitate to reach out, and even just to let us know how it's going. We love seeing photos of people with their new dogs. And then last is search engines dedicated towards accredited, talented professionals. So the Pet Professional Guild, Fear Free Happy Homes, and the Animal Positive Coalition. You can search by location to find local trainers, vets, groomers, and other professionals like dog sitters and dog walkers. So thank you so much for completing this class, and thank you for saving a life. It is not a small feat, and I hope you guys take it very seriously and show your dog, just give them the best second chance of life that they can get. Thank you.